Oh, hey students! Guess what? I just realized it's September, which means you're probably really wondering what the heck are my classes going to look like at Rollins College? I thought it might be a good time to send a second follow-up video to you. And you might be wondering, Dr. Parsloe, why are you filming this video in your attic? Well, just like my attic, my syllabus is unfinished, but it is structurally sound. So I thought I'd come create a video to give you a few details about what you can expect this fall at Rollins College. So I'm going to start. Oh man. So there is a ginormous cockroach over there, and it is going down. Okay, so filming in my attic, maybe not my best idea, but this class, Difficult Dialogues and Health Communication, has probably been my favorite idea as a professor so far at Rollins College. I'm really excited for this class, and I'm glad you're going to be a part of it. On the surface, it sounds like a pretty hefty one. So we'll be studying some challenging topics such as end-of-life communication. How do you deliver bad news to patients, for instance? How do you care for someone at the end of their life? How do you make end-of-life decisions? What does grief look like? And how, as a community and a culture, do we memorialize people who have died before us? Yeah, that's a pretty heavy topic. But I've taught this class before, and I found that students think it's fascinating and, ironically, kind of fun. This year, we'll be working with a community partner called New Hope for Kids. It's a grief center designed to support families who've experienced a death, especially families with young children. Usually, they'll have an annual event at Cranes Roost Park called National Children's Grief Awareness Day. It's a big event where families gather at a park, they have food, they have activities, there's a walk, and it's something that's really important to the community. This year, because of the pandemic, it just can't happen. But here's where we come in. We're going to be brainstorming with New Hope for Kids, including some of its families, to think about how we could create the same kind of a space in an online environment. We'll also be partnering with a second community partner called Michelie Puppets. Michelie is an organization that uses puppets to facilitate challenging conversations with young children. So for instance, when you ask a child to talk about their emotions, they might really struggle talking about these things with their parents or other adults. But talking to a puppet can be a different kind of experience. So I hope you're getting excited and thinking about what this class might look like this semester, and I'll give you a clearer picture right now. I'm going to give us a little bit of a tour of the syllabus that I sent you in my most recent email. If you scroll down to this section here, you'll see the schedule for our course. And I wanted to draw your attention to this color-coded part right here that says locations. Because this is a hybrid class and we're trying to make sure that we stay safe in the midst of a pandemic, meeting can mean different things different days. So for instance, sometimes we'll meet as a whole class via a tool like WebEx or Microsoft Teams. So for instance, we'll meet as a class to engage in a puppet making workshop with Michelie Puppets, where you'll actually get to build your own puppets and learn how to use them to have a difficult dialogue. Or we'll meet as a whole class digitally to create an online version of a Dia de los Muertos altar, where we can celebrate the Mexican tradition of remembering folks who have died. So there'll be some really cool things that happen as a whole class online. And anytime you see a blue square, it means that we're all meeting together in an online context. You'll see some other parts of the syllabus where there's some green squares. These green squares mean that you're going to be meeting as small groups with me. So I have divided you up into 3 groups so that you will all meet in groups of about 8 to 9 students at a time. So that way you can be safe and physically distanced, but still feel like you can hear each other and see each other and interact fairly well in an in-person setting. And so we'll only be meeting in these small groups for 45 minutes out of our 2.5 hour long class. So you'll see some other things that might happen to fill up that time. So for instance, we'll have some book clubs going on. In some days, you might be sent off on your own to watch a documentary. So for instance, here's this documentary, if it ever loads, called Endgame. You'll be watching this documentary and reflecting on it. There might be some other activities that I send you out to do, either as groups or as individuals, to make the most of our 2.5 hour time slot. So for you right now, what you should know is that if there is a blue square, it means that we're meeting all together on WebEx. If there's a green square, it means that we're meeting in small groups. And then I'll talk about some of the other ways that we're going to be meeting and interacting across the course of the semester. Of course, our biggest tool will be our Canvas site. So here's what our Canvas site looks like. You've got a module here that includes our syllabus and one of my initial messages to you. And then there will be weekly modules where you can get a sense of what's happening at any point. So for instance, here's our first week. I'll list out what homework is due, including what you should read and what you should do. And then I'll include this section for class today, which will share any links that I might have you access as part of class or any kind of activities that I'm wanting you to do as part of our class that week. There's a few other tools that are available on Canvas that I find students really don't know exist and can be really helpful for you. So for instance, this syllabus button pulls up any assignments that are available on Canvas, and it tells you exactly when things are due. So this is a great thing to check to make sure that you've submitted anything that's due. All assignments will be due on Sunday of the week that we've covered them. The last thing that you will find really useful, not going to click on it now because I'm going to post this video to YouTube, but this people link shows you who is in the class, and this is where you'll find if you've been grouped with people in small groups or as part of our larger class project. So those are a few things to get you started thinking about the class. I won't share any more information now so I don't overwhelm you, but we will be meeting on Thursday, the first week of class, via WebEx, and we'll have a special guest. The marketing director for New Hope for Kids will give us a brief digital tour of what the New Hope for Kids Grief Center looks like. So, should be a good class. I know that maybe you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, maybe a little bit anxious about the upcoming semester, but I know that just like me in the attic, you're going to kill it.